It is an evening that we could be playing outside, playing baseball or softball or football tonight. Temperatures in the 60s. We got basketball they'll still take care of, and this is the time of year when Marian has done their business in the past. 2 times the then NAIA Division II national champs. They have made each of the last 2 NAIA single division national tournaments. In fact, they've held regionals right here in the PE Center. That is the plan this year, but something that hasn't happened in 7 years. Back-to-back losses in league play is what lead Marian into tonight's contest against the Taylor Trojans. Alongside Jan Bozier, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thanks for joining us for the regular season finale in Crossroads League play here on the ISC Sports Network. And Jan, I think that is the ultimate compliment to this program. It has been 7 years since they have lost back-to-back league games. Marian last week losing to Spring Arbor and then at Indiana Wesleyan. And that loss on Saturday wraps up the number 1 seed for the Wildcats and an NAIA tournament berth, which they knew they were going to get anyway. For Marian, they know they're the 2 seed next week. They don't play again for 6 days. Does head coach Steve Brooks' team? What is the importance of tonight's contest for his squad?
Well, we're going to talk about this keys of the game in a little bit. They have got to come out, Greg, just laser focused. This is not a game that they can come out flat. Listen, we've seen this league long enough. Regardless of a record, any team in this league can pull off an upset.
Number 2 seed for Marian is what they are locked into. I think a win tonight likely ends any sort of doubt about hosting a regional here. That would take place on March 7th and the 8th. Of course, Ella Collier is always the focus for Marian. 18 points, 5 rebounds a game, and that rarest of errors as a shooter. 50, 40, 90, field goal 3 and free throw percentage. She's well above all 3 of those thresholds.
Yeah, and that's with being a marked shooter too. Teams put their best defender on it. She gets doubled, really makes it difficult, and still it's been in a double-double scenario.
As you can tell by the t-shirts on the Marian players, tonight is the Play for K night. We will tell you more about that throughout the course of our broadcast as well. There is Ella. We'll introduce you to her and the remainder of the Marian starting 5 after we take our first time out. Taylor starters come your way next, and Jan's aforementioned keys to the game. That's after this quick break as you're watching Marian University basketball here on the ISC Sports Network.
The minute I stepped foot on campus, I didn't want to leave.
Everyone here is about helping you succeed.
It's hard work, but it's totally worth it. I have so much support from my advisors.
The nursing program is why I chose Marian.
I'm studying to be a teacher.
I'm a business major.
My professors really challenge me, and I know I'll be ready for my career.
A great education is the best thing you could ever do for yourself.
Marian University, an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Is your building haunted or infested with icky snakes? Then tear it down. The Raise Trash Demolition Squad can flatten buildings up to 3 stories tall. Whether it's a commercial or residential structure, the Raise Trash Demo experts will make it go boom. And with their roll-off containers, they'll haul away the mess quicker than you can say, hey, there used to be a building there. Bring your old fire trap to its knees with Raise Trash.
RaiseTrash.com.
Raise Trash.
You find yourself fighting the toughest foe of all, cancer. You become determined, and you're going to persevere. I've had one of the greatest opportunities of my life to be a part of forming a foundation that can make a difference in the lives of so many people. We're on the same team, battling for the same cause. It's a win-win situation.
Support the KYOW Cancer Fund. Donate at www.kyow.com.
Time for our starting lineups, and with that, let's throw it to the public address voice of the Marian University Knights, Mark Erdosi.
Westfield, Indiana, number 22, Ava Henson. Ed Gardy, Jr. from White Pigeon, Michigan, number 24, Clacy West. At forward, a junior from Marian, Indiana, number 43, Taylor Westgate. At center, a senior from Seward, Nebraska, number 55, Gretchen Mull. The Trojans head coach in his 6th season is Jody Martinez. Ladies and gentlemen, starting lineups for the Taylor University Trojans.
Let's talk about this Taylor team, and what catches your attention is their size. Westgate and Mull, 6'1" and 6'4". Rarely does a team have a size advantage on Marian. to some degree that is the case tonight for the visitors.
Yeah, you look through Taylor's schedule, Greg, at times they have played really good ball. Their problem, quite honestly, has been consistency. They have not been able to be consistent through this season. Therefore, they're just a little below 500.
These teams have not played in 3 months. This was the opening conference game when they played in Upland on November the 16th. And in that game, neither Ella Collier or Kennedy Gerard played for Marian. Yet the Knights won that game by 15. A big reason why: turnovers. Marian had 10 fewer. Once again, Mark Cardosi to bring you the Marian starters.
And now the starting lineups for your Marian University Knights. At forward, a 6'1" freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 11, Abby McNally. At forward, a 5'11" senior from Indianapolis, Indiana, number 42, Kennedy Gerard. At guard, a 5'5" junior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, number 1, Jayla Weiner. At guard, a 5'7" junior from Brownsburg, Indiana, number 25, Allison Bossy. Rounding out the Knights starting lineup is a 6-foot junior guard from Danville, Indiana, wearing number 13, Ella Collier. The Knights head coach in his second year, Steve Brooks. Ladies and gentlemen, starting lineup for your Marian University Knights.
How dynamite has Ella Collier's first 3 years in a Marian uniform been? She is 14 points away from 4th in program history in terms of scoring, passing Abby Downer, who we obviously saw the last 2 years in that point guard role for Marian. Jan, give us your keys to tonight's game.
Well, we talked about mentally focused. Trust me, Taylor would love to come in and get an upset. So the Knights better be focused. They do not want to go 3 losses. 3-point shooting. Marian can shoot it pretty well, Greg, but Collier, quite honestly, is the only one getting very many looks. I really feel like Marian's got to find some more offense to create more 3-point shooting for her and get to the free throw line. They shoot it very well, but once again, they're getting there just a little bit less. So their margin of error is not near as much. Defense has been consistent and solid.
Abby McNally wins the tip. Allison Bossy will track it down. Shayla Weiner gets the start at point guard tonight. Collier accounts for so much of the offense. McNally has been a great find as a freshman and is a talented freshman class, and still overall a young basketball team. Weiner left alone from 17, and even a player who averages 2.5 points a game, generally at this level, can knock down an open jump shot as Weiner just did.
And I think she's she hasn't started a lot in the last 10 games. This is a great opportunity to have a breakout game.
Let's point out who is not in the lineup for Marian tonight, as on the backdoor cut, Henson's shot does not go. McNally, she's tied up, so the arrow will keep it here. Finish the thought, Noah Leah Evans, who's really made a huge jump from her sophomore to her junior year, former Greensburg Pirate. She is out under the weather. Expect to see her back in 6 days for the conference tournament opener, which we will have next Tuesday on ISC. Now he swats that ball away from Maul. Shot clock is at 9. Westgate, Taylor's leading scorer, gets an open look, and normally those will go down. He is averaging 16 points and 9 rebounds a game. Is the junior from Oak Hill.
I think Marian thinks they can push the ball tonight.
To your point, McNally will lay it up and in. McNally from Coleraine High School, northern suburbs of Cincinnati, 11 points and a team-high 8 boards a game. Jan, the top 5 scorers for Marian this year are all shooting north of 50% from the floor.
Yeah, the percentage has certainly been there. It's just now the opportunity quantity has just lowered itself a little bit. They're not putting up as many points on the board as a team.
Westgate got downhill, and Westgate took an extra step. So traveling, we mentioned turnovers were a factor in favor of Marian last time they played. His Taylor team averages just under 15 turnovers a game. Marian just a smidge over 12.
You know, you looked at those last 2 losses, Marian rebounded fine. They did a lot of things really good. The defense was just solid. It was the offensive aspect. They just were a few shots shy, and when you lose by 1 or 2, that's all it takes.
If I looked up in the dictionary, set play for your best scorer.
That's right.
Marian just ran it. Dribble handoff to Collier. She knocks it down. Steve Brooks' squad out to a 6-0 lead. This is the start that he and the Marian fans wanted to see. Marian actually won on the road at Indiana Wesleyan, or beat Indiana Wesleyan here, I should say, early in the conference season, as Taylor turns it over. Gerard finds Collier, and then she traveled. Yep, just drugged that pivot foot as she was looking to get rid of the basketball. So the top two teams in the league split. The issue for Marian is a couple of teams from behind them kind of nipped them. Spring Arbor and Mount Vernon Nazarene both had wins over the Knights this year. Spring Arbor coming last Wednesday.
Yeah, and we've talked a little bit about some of the injury bug that Marian has had to kind of fight through, Greg. And when they lost Faust, she was a decent three-point shooter, and that kind of hurt them outside a little bit.
Speaking of three-point shooting, Ariel Dale knocks one down. Young lady from Northfield High School in the Wabash area. 37% three-point shooter. Taylor on the board, 2.5 minutes in. Just spread the floor and see if you can score off the dribble drive. Wayner, a long two that does not go. And while the first shot you like, that one maybe not so much. A bit quick from the junior from Pittsburgh. Wayner got tripped up, and then Wayner then trips the player on the drive, and Jayla whistled for the foul.
Well, there's no doubt in this league, it is a marathon. It is a grind. It is a physical beatdown at times. And now you've got to gather yourself for the primetime conference tournament in NAIA.
Well, to your point, it used to be that the last game of the conference season would have been Saturday. They have altered the schedule this year to give the women a little more time to get ready for the conference tournament. That's why the season concludes tonight. And to be able to kind of have those mirror schedules or shadow schedules as the shot clock is down to 2. Westgate has to go, got it off the rim, but the men are all off tonight.
Right.
So there was one game last night. Goshen and Mount Vernon Nazarene played an evening ago, but everybody else on the men's side off tonight, and they will play on Saturday. We'll have this game, Taylor and Marian, the men's contest for you. Saturday afternoon, McNally a miss, Bossy a rebound. McNally, great drive to Wayner, and no qualms on that shot. Wayner puts it up and in.
Yeah, and it's a good read by Wayner to see that she needed some help driving a little teardrop.
You're seeing good spacing and good movement by Marian in their half-court sets.
And this is all the types of things, Greg, you want to fine-tune going into next week.
All the target inside, the 6'4" center out of Nebraska. Runner does not go. And best that Gerard can do is simply knock that ball away from the taller player.
Collier with pretty steady defense right there, and key not to foul. They have to have her on the floor, Greg. It's always important to keep her out of foul trouble.
How this Taylor team is structured in terms of their height. So reminiscent of how Marian was structured last year with Guy and Gerard and Collier in the front court. Westgate a 3, not amongst their top three-point shooters, but obviously their best scorer knocks it down, and Taylor back within a bucket. And they're going to be a moving screen called against Marian. Well, go against Gerard, so Gerard picks up the foul. Her first and team foul number 2. Marian second turnover as well.
When you talk about this league and how tough it is, and those 2 losses, and they're tough for sure, but man, to go on the road here, Greg, especially late in the season, boy, they just missed, but a couple of losses on the road.
Jillian Oswald in for Taylor. Westgate looking to go to work. Ball knocked away by Bossy. Third Taylor turnover. Look ahead pass, Gerard runs the floor. Finds an angle. Westgate got the clean block. Gerard joined the team at the beginning of the second semester in terms of being able to play. Good recovery defensively.
Boy, and timing was good for her to come back too. They need her help inside.
And Wayner, just she and Gerard not exactly on the same page there. Marian turns over for a third time. Gerard 10 points and 6.5 rebounds. Immediately Wayner taps the chest, says, my fault.
Yeah, and Marian is not a team that turns it over a lot through the year. 12 average for the Knights.
So open up the floor, let Westgate go to work. Left hand, no, but rebound is there, and I think there was an issue. The shot clock reset, and it shouldn't have. That was the reason for the whistle. So they'll take some time off of it.
You know, one of the things we'll talk about throughout this game is how will the bench play? When you start getting near tournament time, it is so important to have your bench as ready as you possibly can.
Blockout drill that time by Marian. Wayner will take it all the way in, throw it off the window and score. And Wayner's making the most of this opportunity again. She averages 2.5 points a game. She's got 6.
That's a lot of times that's the way it is, whether it's injury or whatever it is. When your name's called, you better be ready.
Well, she's got Tamia Perriman getting ready to check in for Marian. The junior from Fishers, McNally, knocks the ball away, but then go get it next time. A teammate eventually does. Gerard, nice high low.
Nice
McNally
pass.
will lay it up and in.
Beautiful pass. That's what she brings among so many things. Her defense is much needed, but her passing ability is stellar as well.
Back-to-back buckets. Marian's lead grows to 6. That was a touch there by Bossy. It'll be out of bounds to Taylor. Here comes Perriman in for Gerard. Maul will come back in for Taylor. Maybe this difference is a little more level because of some injuries for Marian tonight, but Taylor tends not to go very deep into their bench in terms of points. Marian much more deep than they were a season ago. So Bossy will have a breather for the Knights.
Good start for the Knights. I really like the way they've come out early and really been aggressive defensively.
Collier hustles back to get in position. She went for the steal and couldn't get it. West will stop and pull from 14. That does not go. And good job by Tamia Perriman. They missed all of last year due to a knee injury. See that significant brace that she still wears on that left knee. 4 points and 3 rebounds a game for the former Fishers Tiger. Her alma mater makes the semi-state round for the first time and will play this weekend up in Huntington North in the IHSAA state tournament.
And a team with a legit chance to get to the state.
And Wayner, and trying to extend her 50 minutes of fame again. She's a third-year kid in the program. She's not exactly a stranger to our broadcast, but she is outperforming what her stats says she should at this point of the game.
And that's exactly what we were talking about earlier. At this point in time, you need that kind of that X factor to really step up their game. Can she be that player? So far, so good.
Can't ask for a better look that time by Maul. Just didn't get it to go. Just 2 3-point field goals so far for Taylor in the opening 8 minutes of the game.
Well, the thing that Wayner brings is that quickness, quick hands.
Shot clock at 5. Marian needs to go. McNally obliges and scores.
She's so solid. She plays so hard, Greg, at both sides of the field, or at the court, I should say. Really a solid player.
McNally with 6. And then steps are going to be called. 6th Taylor turnover. Kenna Kirby will check in, the freshman from Tri-West for Marian. Take a look at McNally's handiwork here. Kennedy Gerard will also check back in for Marian. Going to give McNally a breather. In this Marian team, Gerard, the lone senior that sees kind of regular minutes at this point for the Knights. So there is clearly a bright future, but frankly, Marian's gotten to the point where there's expectations every year.
Beautiful
what
pass.
A feed.
Beautiful.
Gerard got the bucket.
Beautiful pass. You got to love this, a 12-point lead. Collier's still with just 2, and that's what we were talking about. Better balance for the Knights.
This is a 10-0 run now by Marian to extend the lead to a dozen.
Collier's going to get her points, but man, they just need a little more balance.
Westgate got fouled. Gerard will pick up her second foul. We'll see free throws for the first time for either side in the early stages of this one. Westgate in the season, a 54% free throw shooter. So as Westgate goes line, let's thank our friends at AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call. Forecast is for rain tomorrow, so if your roof has a problem, call the folks at AAA
exactly
Roofing.
right. This is one of the areas where, quite honestly, Taylor has struggled, especially in the last few games. They're shooting just 68 for the year, but they have struggled at the free throw line as of late.
McNally has to come right back in because Girard picked up that second foul. There's been a grand total of 3 fouls called in the game, and she's got 2 of them. There are a minute to play now here in the opening quarter. Outstanding start for the Knights, and again, they have done it with Ella Collier. Not having to force the issue. She's made 1 bucket so far. Still has made just 1 bucket so far. Long rebound, Corral. This is Oswald with it for Taylor, and again, she couldn't come to a stop. We're seeing some players, well, it's almost like they were playing on the Super Bowl turf.
Yeah,
some problems with cuts and stops so far.
Yeah, you look at the year this Knight Ball Club has had, and at times I feel like, wow, I'm being a little picky because they've had a phenomenal year. But they have such expectations, Greg, of doing things in the post-season.
Ball will knock that ball away. See on your screen, 11-second difference between game clock and shot clock. The fact that any program can say we have lost back-to-back conference games for the first time in 7 years, that doesn't sound like a positive stat. That's an unbelievable compliment.
It really is. That's a great point.
Perryman tries to find McNally, and that offensive set was just discombobulated from the beginning. Marian has won the regional. They have hosted here each of the last 2 years. Last year was beating Rio Grande in the championship contest. The game you were here for.
I was.
Oswald's 3 is good, and trend continues for Taylor. They made 3 field goals in the first 10 minutes, all from 3-point range. Till it's Marian with an 8-point lead going to quarter number 2. You're watching this regular season finale of Crossroads League Women's Basketball. We're back after this on the ISC Sports Network.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Still waiting? You could have been seen by an orthopedic specialist at Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Avoid the wait, cost, and drama of the ER. Ortho Indy Urgent Care. Orthopedic care without the drama. Find a location near you.
Tonight's game on ISC, presented in part by our friends at Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi is a proud partner of the Marian University Knights. Alongside Jan Bozier, Greg Rakestraw with you. Partner, it has been too long since you and I have worked together here. There's kind of some quirks in the schedules. I have not seen the Knights as much as I would have liked to this year. Thankfully, we'll rectify that down the home stretch of the season. After tonight, these 2 teams are off the Crossroads League tournament. Marian knows they will host next Tuesday. Opponent TBD. There is a scenario. It could be the exact same team. Perryman gets the bucket. She's still rounding back into that form from last year's knee injury.
And the more she can help this ball club, that quick move of hers can be really, really potent.
Back to a double-digit lead for the Knights.
Taylor hanging around with some threes.
Tries another one as Ariel Dale's shot does not go. She's made 1 of those 3 threes so far. Marjora Sova, transfer from SIU Edwardsville, young lady from Slovakia, into the contest for Marian. Bossy was frequently a hitter of big shots for this team a season ago. The slip to McNally, great move, and that's a tough finish over Westgate.
She just continues to improve her game, especially inside, Greg. Really, really nice.
Let's face it, this is a Marian program on both the men's and women's side that have lived largely on players from the state of Indiana. This team clearly still does as Westgate misses, but This potentially opens a recruiting door to bring that to McNally from the north side of Cincinnati. You can start tapping into that community. Even more talent heading this way. Perryman got fouled. Shot does not go, but Timmy Perryman will shoot too.
I like what Marian's doing here. We talked about this early. The fact that they have to get some more points in the paint. They've got to make that defense respect the fact there's going to be some shots in the paint that can help Collier on that three-point line get a little more open and some more looks.
Perryman on the season does not get to the line very often. She connects on that one. She is 10 of 15 from the line. Coach Brooks, and after 3 years, you almost think Coach Collier having a conversation on the sidelines. Lead now grows to 14. Westgate has been the fulcrum point offensively. Good move that does get the roll. First 2-point field goal for Taylor comes nearly 12 minutes in.
Marian really checking out well here in the first half. Really in position for rebounding.
Collier catches. 3, no, but McNally extends the possession. This is a Marian that's going to be carrying the basketball. This is a Marian team that is solid in terms of three-point shooting. I wouldn't say they're overly reliant on three-point shooting. I think about 5.5 a game. Coach Brooks rather nonplussed by that last possession.
Well, and the situation with that, if you are up against some teams, Greg, that shoot the three pretty well, you've got to figure out where you're going to get those extra points from.
Westgate going to work, left hand, gets the roll. Westgate's went over 1,000 points for her career at Taylor. Did that in an earlier contest. She's got 8 of their 14, and not surprisingly, again, she's leading the charge for the Trojans, trying to make up a double-digit deficit. The slip to McNally off the window, that does not go. But McNally, great pressure, gets the steal and draws the foul, and just as importantly, that's 2 on Taylor's top player.
Yeah, McNally really battling inside. Take a look at the replay. That's a solid shot, just didn't go. Key was not to foul here, kept her hands straight up, and she's going to get some free throws here just because of her effort.
Frankly, that's McNally doing a little freelancing there. Because Marian's not a team that picks up full court pressure. She just saw something, made the play, and
I think she was unhappy she didn't finish that, so give me that ball back.
Goes 1 of 2 from the line. There was an inadvertent horn. We'll play through it. McNally on the season, a 70% free throw shooter. Westgate stays with 2 fouls in the game for head coach Jody Martinez currently. Westgate turns, misses that left hand.
Westgate's a tough matchup inside for a lot of teams. She uses that left hand. She likes that little hook, kind of hard to guard.
And frankly, they surround her with three-point shooters, so it's tough to double off of her in that scenario.
Junior.
Collier, shot blocked. McNally set to go off of Westgate. Steve Brooks thought there was more than a block on that shot that was missed by Collier. Collier gets downhill, and that is a foul called, and Ella Collier will go to the free throw line where she is a 95% free throw shooter.
Collier rarely changes her facial expression, but she'd kind of had enough of being getting fouled heavy, and she had some words to herself. Said, that's enough of that.
And connects from the line. Tonight's game presented in part by our friends at BSN Sports. Thank you, BSN. They are the preferred provider of apparel for Marian University athletics. Those are automatic when Ella Collier steps to the line. They have players that are shooting 95 and 96%.
That's impressive
for the free throw line this year. Maul is in, and Collier tried to time the steal, couldn't get it, and Maul gets the easy look.
Well, that's where Marian's a little vulnerable down there in the matchup because they don't have that type of height. So it really depends on that backside help to get there quickly.
Well, of note, Westgate now will sit with those 2 fouls for Taylor. Perryman fires, doesn't get it to go. Great crash by McNally, just couldn't hang on to it. It'll be Taylor basketball. It is easy to see why McNally, as a freshman, is averaging 8 rebounds a game.
It's a good thing, too.
Marian has a team out rebounding their opponents by 3.5 boards a game. Not surprising, giving Taylor's overwhelming size advantage against most teams they play. Taylor out rebounding opponents by 6.5 boards a contest.
It's really big couple possessions for Taylor right here.
West got an open look, couldn't get it to go, and good job by McNally. Draws the foul against Gretchen Mall.
McNally has just been very, very steady here in his first half. Just in rebounding position, playing really physical against somebody who's got at least 3 to 4 inches on her. Just holding her own.
Fair to say that by game 28, Chan, a freshman is no longer a freshman.
You can't be, Greg, in this league. You can't be. Or you're probably not going to get a lot of minutes.
Next foul by Taylor will send Marian to the 2-shot penalty. Marjorie Silva misses. And Ball the rebound. Off the screen, Dale fires. That does not go. And again, McNally absolutely owning the glass for Marian.
She is. You can tell she might need a breather. She absolutely is gassed. And it's not because she's not in shape. She has worked really hard on both ends on the rebounding side, Greg.
Collier able to find Bossy, who lines up a 3 and could not get the roll. That was just the second 3 attempted by Marian tonight. They have missed them both. Oswald on the drive. McNally there waiting and couldn't track it down. Esther Sevilla will check in. Doesn't get a lot of minutes for this Marian team.
Well, I just can't say enough good things the way McNally played that first quarter and a half, Greg.
Sevilla gets minutes in part because Gerard has 2 fouls immediately. Gets scored on and an and 1 opportunity. Well, credit Taylor for recognizing. Maybe they had a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, and this is smart play, to your point. They go right at the substitution. Good pass. Boy, just like that, this lead is now under 10 for the first time in a while.
Mall on the season, 61% from the line. Seward, Nebraska, the hometown for the 6'4" senior. Got that to go. He was as large as 14. Now it's down to 8 here at the midway point of quarter number 2.
You know, Taylor's defense has not been bad at all against Marian here.
Well, these two teams played back in November. Marian scored 67. This is a Marian team that often doesn't wow you with number of points, but by margin because of what they do defensively. Shot was blocked. Still 7 on the shot clock. Wayner's got to reset. I'm not sure she realizes she does now. Collier forces it up just like he drew it up, right?
Bingo, baby.
When in doubt, get the ball in 13's hands for the Knights.
Let's see if that'll get her going. She needed that one.
43% three-point shooter on the season. Just her second made field goal of the game. Coach Brooks leading the charge defensively on that opposite sideline. Shot clock now at 9 for Taylor. Poked away by Perryman. And Perryman, with a bulky knee brace and all, going to win that foot race.
Really
no doubt
good
about
defense.
that.
Taylor wants a timeout, Greg.
Timeout taken by Taylor. Let's take it with him. We'll see the steal and score at the other end for Tamia Perryman. She's got 6 off the bench. Knights lead by a baker's dozen on the ISC Sports Network.
I've always liked Indianapolis. I've been interested in the bigger city life. The community and everything fell into place.
With my degree, I plan on becoming a pediatric nurse. Indianapolis has several hospitals and different options to choose from as to where I should go.
I chose Indianapolis because I love the Pacers, I love the Colts, and this is a basketball city. Just wanted to stay in the city, play in front of my friends and family, and try to give Marian my best.
This reminder, Marian fans, that joining the M Club is the absolute best way to support student athletes at Marian University. For more information, visit marian.edu/M Club. Thanks to our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew, Rob Lynch, Aaron Van Wolde, Dennis Glover, Jordan Shue, and the EST of ISC, Alec Word DeFore. Alongside Jan Bozier, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Thank you so much for joining us.
I think that three for Collier really kind of gave Marian a little extra spark here with 3:09 left in the second.
Good double that time by Bossy. Was touched last by her. But Jan, you said it well. Again, and this is a position Marian has not been in a lot the last few years, where they're the undersized team, and so it has to be a post double on those entry passes.
You've got to play post defense by committee, especially when you are clearly in a mismatch issue.
McNally back in, and Collier going to be called. It was just late, kind of getting the block out. That's element I not like the call, but I thought that was the right call. Contact was made. It'll be 2 free throws coming up. Ava Henson will shoot 2. Ava, a junior from Westfield. 83% shooter that didn't get that to go. Ava, the second leading scorer for Taylor this year, really third, 11.5 points and 3.5 rebounds a game. Makes 1 of 2. She becomes the 5th different Taylor player to dent the scoring column. And the lead back to 12. Taylor program, their record almost identical to a season ago. McNally's runner is good. McNally with 11.
Boy, what a time to really bring your game to the next level. She's been solid all year long, the games I've seen her. She's really, really helped the Knights get where they're at. But, man, she just has kind of elevated her game to another level tonight.
And that was not the best of entry passes that time. But McNally, the easy pick. Wayner on the drive, slips to McNally, scores it off the window.
Really nice.
This does not look like a team that has lost their last 2 games, Jan.
No doubt about it. They're really good in the assist department. They've shared the ball very, very well.
Just leading the game now, 16 for Marian. Again, Maul, and that's going to be an offensive foul. Yep. Good call, and once again, great positional defense by McNally. So Maul picks up her second foul. Quinn Kelly now will check in for Taylor. Quinn's a 6'11 freshman from 5'11 freshman from Greenwood. Jody Martinez trying to figure out an answer here.
With this 16-point lead, you really like to see the Knights really, really emphasize great space and good ball movement and get a really nice shot, not a good pass right there.
Yeah, Henson picks the pocket. Perryman and Henson know each other very well from being high school rivals. Oswald on the drive, just kind of threw out the rim and hoped for the best. McNally snares another board. By our count, that's 7. Bossy will pull from 15, and that's good. Allison Bossy gets her first bucket. 6 different Marian players have scored, and the lead continues to grow for the Knights.
Well, Bossy's a double figure, just under it a little bit offensively. Well, you'd like to see another couple buckets out of her a game. She's certainly capable.
She tended to save her baskets as Perryman's going to be called for the foul. Not a big concern for Marian. It's the team's 3rd of the quarter, the 1:05 left to go. But Bossy was kind of a clutch player last year for this Marian squad. Collier will get a breather as Kenna Kirby will come back in. Kenna played briefly in the first quarter and did not score. The freshman from Tri-West.
Yeah, that's a good move. Get her out. She's doesn't need any more fouls. She's got an 18-point lead, getting a little extra rest here coming into the second half.
Shot clock at 6. That's going to be a foul on Perryman, and frankly, a bit of an unnecessary one because McNally was there waiting to help. Jillian Oswald, a sophomore from Hamilton Heights, will go to the line to shoot 2.
Speaking of Hamilton Heights, they've had a really good ladies basketball team for years, and really this year as well. Good program.
Oswald, 3 points, 2 rebounds a game, 89% for the line. I'm in between pairing shows. My brain is mush. The Huskies are in the semi-state this weekend, correct?
Yes, they are.
One of those things I'm like, I'm 99% sure they're
You
still
know what,
playing,
Greg?
but I might need
I have
confirmation from
arrived.
Jen.
If you're asking me, I have finally arrived. It's taken me a while.
I've had to memorize a lot of team names the last couple of weeks.
Hey, I only know 3, and you asked me one of them. Oh, just glad I can help, Greg.
It's here to help the ball club.
Yeah.
Shot clock at 9. Wayner's 3 is good, and how about McNally and Wayner both already in double figures at halftime?
Much better movement here in this second period, Greg, for the Knights offensively. We talked about that. They are really good when they get good spacing and good ball movement.
Second made 3 of the game for Marian. Both have come in this quarter. Dale looking to answer. She'll fire. That does not go. Fight for the loose ball. Wayner will track it down, and that's it, and that's all. But again, coming off of back-to-back losses, something this program does not deal with very often, this is the answer you wanted to see for the Marian Knights. Their lead is 19 at the break, 41-22. Stay tuned. A special guest will be joining us next as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business for 35-plus years. I'm here with the owner, Richard Michaelis. Hey, Richard, what's the key to the growth over the last 35 years?
Pat, I believe being a family-owned local business that is involved in the community has a lot to do with it.
All right, so you have a lot of services. Tell us about some of those services.
We're really, really strong in the emergency services, smoke, fire damage restoration, storm and water damage restoration, all while working with your insurance company. We also do mold remediation, basement and crawl space waterproofing, foundation repair, and roof repair. We are a full-service company.
All right, as to the owner, we know you wear a lot of hats. What do you do day to day?
I really love being out in the field working with our clients. It gives me a great opportunity to understand their needs so we can take care of them.
Your hands-on approach, I think, is a lot to do with the success of Michaelis. If you find yourself needing their services, give them a call anytime, 24/7 at 844-FIX-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation. Construct, renovate, restore.
A look at the trophy case out in the foyer before you get to the PE Center. You see that volleyball in the middle. That is one of the 3 red banners that are represented in the building. That one for volleyball. And we have a brand new volleyball coach at Marian University who is kind enough to join us now as we're at halftime of this women's regular season finale. Marian leading Taylor by a score of 41-22. And our guest is Callie Noble, who has been at Nicholls State, the Division I level out in Louisiana, but after 4 years there is happy to return home to her roots here in the state of Indiana. Callie, welcome home. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous here with the Marian Knights. It's been a great first 2 weeks.
All right, hometown in Indiana is where for you?
I grew up in Peru, Indiana, which is about an hour north of here, but my parents live in Bloomington now, so.
I'm sure they are thrilled that you are much closer to home than Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Indeed, and no hurricanes here.
We hope not.
Right.
All right. So with that, again, at the division, people usually in the NAIA level are aspiring to Division I. You decided to go the opposite direction. What was it about this opportunity that was so appealing to you?
First and foremost, the success of prior coaches here. This program is very established. I'm not coming here to change things. I'm here to continue the success of Marian volleyball. The next thing, obviously, getting closer to home was huge for me. And it was just an opportunity that presented itself that I was ready to take, and I had coached at the NAIA level prior in Houston, so I enjoyed that, so here we are.
All right, and this is the case for any coach, anytime there is a move, but the first group you are recruiting are the players that are already on your roster. So what have those initial meetings been like with the returning players for next season?
Yes, in the first week I had the opportunity to meet each of them one-on-one for about 30 minutes, get to know them. That's really important, to see them more than just a student athlete, but as people. So we did that, and then they had a week of open gym, and this is our first week of me actually being in the gym working with them kind of one-on-one.
What have you learned about that group then so far? It's a pretty talented group, isn't it?
Very, very talented. I was actually telling Mitch here before this interview that I was so impressed yesterday. We did positionals and just the feedback, and they're making changes immediately, and I look forward to continued progress here throughout the spring.
I'm going to ask you about a player I know you won't have the chance to coach, but because of the COVID year, this was the case Division I, NAIA, what have you, but you have some 5-year stars, and Marian had one of those in Skylar Van Note. How do you replace a player like that in your program?
Obviously, you're never replacing them,
right.
But I think we have some players that have the opportunity to compete against her in the gym every day, and so them getting that opportunity now to step on the court and show their talents.
And Skylar is from the most fertile of recruiting grounds in terms of Delaware County. You've had multiple players in this program here, but honestly, the level of volleyball has gotten so good here in Indiana. There are so many hotbeds now around the state. What's it like to recruit kids to now stay at home and play in Indiana?
Well, it's so funny. I mean, at all my stops, whether it was University of Memphis, Tulane, I was always recruiting Indiana just because of the skill here in the Midwest. So now it's just getting the opportunity to, stay at home and sleep in my own bed and recruit these young ladies.
All right, so obviously, and again, small college, Division I, et cetera, it's the same. You're going to have maybe some competitions and some workouts in the spring, but obviously everything is geared up towards the season getting underway in August. What does the next month or two look for you like here on campus at Marian and out in the recruiting world as well?
Well, first and foremost, just establishing a routine for the ladies that are here. So we're doing strength and conditioning each week, and obviously open gyms, practices, individuals, all of the above, right? And then for me, it's a lot of weekends out recruiting and just kind of reestablishing myself with the club directors and the recruiting coordinators at the clubs, that I'm back here in Indiana and that they're welcome to send their players my direction.
Callie, again, welcome home. It's nice to meet you in person. Look forward to seeing you and your team here in the fall in the PE Center.
Yes, thank you.
You got it, Callie Noble again. She is the brand new volleyball head coach here at Marian University. Of course, Marian, a team that has made frequent trips to Sioux City, including bringing back a red banner now some 3 falls ago. We'll take this quick timeout. When we come back, Jan Bozier rejoins. These are the youngsters from the Tabernacle Youth Sports Program that are in attendance at halftime. If they're still playing when we come back, I'm going to quiz Jan on trivia because there's a current member of the Indiana Pacers that played at the same level that these kids are right now. Our score at the break, Marian 41, Taylor 22. As you're watching Crossroads League Women's Basketball on the ISC Sports Network.
Who's got time for hot dogs and disco music? Your mind's cluttered with thoughts of commercial waste removal. So thank the good Lord above for Ray's Trash. Ray's will collect the intolerable rubbish at all your company's locations up to 6 times a week. That's 42 times in dog weeks. They shred documents and recycle too. And Ray's has roll-off containers for big loads, like construction waste or when your giant dies. Got a business? Get yourself to raystrash.com.
raystrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Pat Sullivan here for the Michaelis Corporation. They've been in business over 35 years. I'm here with Joe Polizzi to talk emergency services. Now, Joe, when I set my house on fire with a toaster, you were actually in my yard before the firefighters left.
Well, Pat, I remember that call like it was yesterday, and although I was disappointed that it was yours, I was happy that I was going to be able to provide some assistance.
You know, this true story, a firefighter actually told me I needed to call someone for emergency services, kind of obvious, and I told him Michaelis was on the way. He said, great, because they're the real deal. Joe, now what do you do in these situations when you show up?
Well, we try to be a calming influence, and we try to find out what the needs are of the family. Everybody's needs are different. Everybody's desires are different. What we try to do is match what we could provide with what they need and do it very smoothly.
I've lived it. If you find yourself needing emergency restoration service in the wake of a fire, flood, or storm, give the Michaelis Corporation a call anytime, 24/7, 844-FIX-INDY.
Again, a gorgeous night on the near northwest side of Indianapolis. We thank you for joining us here inside the PE Center. Again, it is the women's regular season finale. They are off this weekend, and they will come play on Tuesday night. Marian knows they will be the number 2 seed. There is a chance they could play this Taylor team again coming up on Tuesday night. Right now, so far so good for Steve Brooks' squad. They lead by a score of 41-22. Tonight's game brought to us by IMCU. Proud to support Marian University now offers a free Marian Knights debit card with a free checking account. Get your Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Membership savings required, federally insured by the NCUA. Jan, I know you love it when I spring trivia on you. So here we go. The youngsters that are playing represent Tabernacle Presbyterian, the TAB Youth Sports Program. one of the most well-known youth sports programs, basketball, soccer, the sport. They play at Tab, 34th and Central on the near north side of Indianapolis. Can you name the current Indiana Pace that grew up playing basketball at Tab? We'll get Jan's microphone back on in a second.
Yeah, I'm back.
He said no, by the way. He just got traded back to the Indiana Pacers. His second stint with the Indiana Pacers.
Boy, I can't think.
I called a lot of his games in college.
Did you?
Like all of them.
Oh, an IUPUI?
Yes, sir. Which makes it George Hill.
That's right.
Is an alumnus.
And I knew one, and I didn't remember it.
You got Hamilton Heights, okay? We're going to call it a win.
Okay, but I'm still like 3 for 25. I was trying to make a little room.
A couple more, man. You're going to be all-star level. Greg Rakestraw, Jan Bozier. We'll get to highlights in a matter of moments. Overall, Jan, your thoughts on half number one?
Execution. I thought what they needed to do, they did. We come out and say, listen, are they going to be mentally sharp? I thought for the most part they were. A few too many turnovers early, but I thought they got into the offense. I love the defense. McNally was spectacular on both ends of the court.
Scoring for Marian, McNally 13, Wayner 11, Collier 7, 6 for Perryman, and then 2 points each for Kennedy Gerard and Allison Bossy. You'll see the three-pointers that went down early for Taylor. They made 3 in the opening quarter. They did not make one in quarter number 2. They scored 10 points in the first quarter, 12 in the second. Taylor Westgate had 8 to lead the charge for Taylor, 5 for Gretchen Ball, 5 for Jillian Oswald, 3 for Ariel Dale, and 1 for Ava Henson. Again, Wayner the story for Marian. She's been coming off the bench, third year in the program. She's averaging 2.5 points a game. Jan, she's got 11 in the first 10.
Yeah, she was active, Greg. Really had her game face on, great movement, penetration, kicked it out, and I just really felt like she gave that offensive spark.
If you're Steve Brooks, what was your message to your ladies at halftime?
Listen, guys, continue checking out, keep the defense solid, good spacing, execute. And I think pretty much what they did in that second period. But the key here, Greg, don't take your foot off the gas. You got a nice lead here. Play just as hard with this lead as it took to get the lead.
Again, a reminder, we will be here on Saturday afternoon as well. Jim Leisure joins me for that one. Again, it'll be the same matchup, Marian and Taylor, to close out the men's regular season. The Marian men right now, the number 5 seed in the Crossroads League tournament, and very much on the bubble as far as the NAIA National Tournament is concerned. We'll focus on that one, though, some 3 days from now. Tonight, the Marian women lead by 19. Third quarter action is not too far away here at the PE Center as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
Kay Yao was a person that believed that anything was possible. Hope and inspiration, that was her vision.
Each day that I wake up, the first thing I think about is how this day can I serve other people.
Together, ready, together.
Please donate to the Kay Yao Cancer Fund. You can do something to help find a cure.
Marian University is like a home to me. Campus is where I made friends that I know will last a lifetime.
Academics, sports, or arts, Marian's got something for you.
Plus, downtown Indy is just 10 minutes away from campus.
I'm a huge sports fan. Living in Indy, I've got the Knights, the Colts, and the Pacers.
Applying was so fast and easy.
I went to Marian for the education, but what I took away was the experience.
Marian University offers an exceptional education and an unforgettable experience. Apply today for full scholarship consideration at marian.edu.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
These two teams getting ready for second half action. Marian out to a 19-point lead. Tonight's game presented in part by the Michaelis Corporation. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY. We will be here for any and all men's and women's conference tournament games. We have been so lucky that literally Marian's men and women have played the maximum number of conference tournament games here each of the last 2 years. Probably not going to happen this time around. Again, the women are locked into the 2 seed. The Marian men can get to 4, but they would have to win, and Bethel would have to lose on Saturday for that to be the case. But we'll have any conference tournament home games for you on the ISC Sports Network. And again, the Marian women, I think, have done enough during the course of this regular season to be a host site yet again for a 3rd consecutive year for the NAIA Regional. If that is the case, Jan and I will have those games. This year, those games are Tuesday, Wednesday, not Friday, Saturday. March 7th, March 8th would be the night that we would have games for you at the home of the Knights, Marian University.
You know, it's important, obviously, for your ball club, but, you know, it's even a little bit deeper for that. It's big for recruiting. It's big for a lot of things. You obviously want to play on your home court, Greg, as much as you possibly can. So don't underestimate how big that is to get to play home in the tournament.
Marian, 17 of 27 in the first half from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point range, and they were 5 of 6 from the free throw line.
I think the big thing for Taylor, Greg, is at some point in time, they're probably going to have a run. And I think Marian has talked about that. Listen, keep your defense solid and keep Taylor away from getting that one big run to get them back in this thing.
You see that sign? Tamia Perryman celebrating her 21st birthday today.
Happy birthday.
She celebrated so far by having 6 points off the bench. Starting 5 back on the floor for the Knights. Wayner, Bossy, McNally, Gerard, who sat for a good chunk of the half with 2 fouls, and of course Ella Collier.
Well, let's see what adjustments Taylor talked about at halftime. How will they approach? And I think this is exactly their strength. Not a bad shot, just kind of left it to the left.
3 was taken in part as Gerard has to tap that ball away from Mull because the shot clock did not reset. It's part of why West immediately put it right back up. But a pair of offensive rebounds to start this half for Taylor. Collier 7 for Marian. Westgate going to work. Off the window, scores it.
Yep, that's exactly what I felt like. You got to go your strength, Greg, when you've got to get back in a game. Use your strength, and that is their strength.
Westgate's got 10. She averages 16 and 9. Just overload the floor and let Collier go to work on one side. Gerard trying to go right back at Westgate. Good help. Gerard scores over it anyway.
Well, that's a basket of strength. Man, she had to muscle that one up just to get it up. Still had the nice touch.
Former Pike Red Devil. It's her second bucket. Both teams get interior points to start the half. And Westgate turns, misses.
Well, she turned to her left that time and didn't quite get the ball where she wanted it to have a chance at a good angle.
Good movement off the ball by Marian. I'm not sure how in the world McNally saw Wayner, but it all worked out. Collier weaves her way into position and scores.
Yeah, under control. She can be and is effective when she gets down there in the block.
I have rotated this quote back into my usual parlance and broadcast because it belongs to Rick Carlisle now that he's back as the head coach of the Pacers. She knows the geometry of the game. That is a Rick Carlisle statement.
A lot of truth to that. She is very effective around the block screen, but she's such a good shooter that's where she spends a lot of her time. But she gets down low. She knows what to do with the ball.
Shot blocked by McNally, but apparently there was some body contact there. So Westgate will shoot 2. First foul against McNally of the game.
You look up the scoreboard, you see Collier with 9 and 2 other players in double figures. That's not a bad thing.
No. Westgate connects from the free throw line. 2 of 3 now for Taylor, junior from Oak Hill High School.
Which Oak Hill?
As the one in the The one where you have to go through Swayze to get to Oak Hill.
Yeah. The one in Indiana.
In Grant County.
The Golden
Not
Eagle,
the one in Virginia.
Well, there's one in Cincinnati, too, or near there.
Yep.
The Golden Eagles.
And Converse. You can't sleep on Converse as well.
True.
Gerard up and under. What a step through.
That's pretty. Under control. Really great execution by them. They're really locked in, Greg.
Fantastic footwork by the senior.
You as a coach really try to prepare your team to really be fundamentally sound in a game like this and simply take care of business.
That's a good way to describe how Marian has played tonight. Just awfully, awfully solid. The slip to Gerard, and that's a foul on the pass. Either on Mull or Westgate. That will be their third. Nope, excuse me. West is going to be called for the reach in. My apologies.
Well, I really have been impressed how active Gerard has been. That is a huge plus. We've seen it in the past, Greg, but she's really come out and made herself available.
Shot clock at a dozen. Collier freeze from 16, and you have to go over every screen with Collier, every one of them.
Yeah, and you can kind of get that feel when she's in a groove. Taylor timeout. When that ball just swishes the net, she is locked in.
Full timeout taken by Taylor. We'll step aside as well. Collier becomes the third Marian player in double figures with 11. The lead is now 23 on ISC.
Meet Kate. She has a lot to juggle. Family, work, it can lead to trying days and tired nights. But we know Kate, and at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know at some point her space at a premium life may change. IMCU is here to help Kate and you find your space. Now, add on or remodel with an introductory rate of 3.9% APR on a home equity line of credit. Today, it's all about Kate. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
This reminder, fans, you know all the up-to-minute information on Knights Athletics when you log on to MUKnights.com, and be sure to follow on Twitter at MUKnights. That's at MUKnights. Alongside Jan Bosher, Greg Rakestraw with you. Last night it was Fishers and Lawrence North for us. Tonight, little Crossroads League women's college basketball. But again, we'll be back here together again for hopefully some NAIA regional action. You will be here at least for what we expect to be 2 conference tournament games next week.
Look forward to it. Really a great time here at Marian during tournament time. Great crowd. Love it.
I believe you have Rob Brown and his Band of Renown with you next Tuesday and Friday.
He's great.
A wonderful acquisition by the ISC Sports Network in the offseason.
You talking about being fundamentally sound, that young man.
He and Vince Morelez are up for Newcomer of the Year in the ISC postseason awards.
He's working for postseason awards. But Taylor has lost 3 coming in this one, and offensive output has been their struggle, Greg, the last 3 losses.
Step back 3 by Henson does not go. Gerard, good job just to tip that to a teammate. Really heads up play. A lot of the threes that Taylor is taking are kind of forced threes or contested threes. Ball movement so crisp for Marian. Bossy couldn't get that to go, but there's McNally, another rebound. No need for Marian to be in a hurry.
No.
Shot clock resets to 20. It's a really connected bunch right now for Marian.
Wow.
Wainer cashes in.
As good a half court set as they've had, and they've had some great ones. Just really good ball movement, good spacing, inside, outside. Boy, you really like to see that going into tournament play. Just, you called it well, Greg. Just really locked in.
You needed one just to kind of say, okay, make sure you get things rolling after a couple of close losses. Ball to miss. And again, Collier can slow the pace just a little bit. McNally in a tough spot. Kind of got bailed out by a foul there that time. But that almost might be a timeout coming from Marian just to keep the possession. Ball is called for the foul, her third.
Weiner just continues to make really good decisions in this half-court offense. Really kind of being the quarterback here, leading the ball club, really doing a nice job in this game.
3 by Collier.
Yes, sir.
And whatever your scouting report is, it can never include giving her that much space.
Now, she's locked in right now. I told you, when her ball rotates so quick through the net, there's just extra rotation. She's flat out locked in. Look out.
And then Westgate is tied up.
Yes.
Yep, that's a turnover. We will age ourselves because I'm going to make a reference. I know you're going to get it. Remember the old Steve Alford shooting tape? It's just to have so much rotation on the free throw that the ball spins back to you.
Right.
I think Ella probably watched a variation of that tape at some point in time, given the rotation she's got on that shot.
Yeah, you just notice, obviously she makes a lot, but there comes a time when she just is so locked in. When that ball hits the net, it just skyrockets right down through it. And that's ball rotation.
Then they're going to get 3 seconds on Girard. Was going to be out of bounds off of Weiner anyway, but Girard was kind of parked in the lane waiting for that cut to happen. 6th Marian turnover. I think Collier touched it. And if she didn't, she needs to learn how to sell it better. She immediately put her hands to her head. Made it an easy call for the official.
Yeah, really the core of this game has really started with, and it still is, the defense of the Knights. They really set the tone early and have really come out and stayed focused defensively.
The expectation is next Friday that Jan Bozier will be here for that's up and over the backboard, a conference semifinal. First things first, Marian has to win next Tuesday. You'll be here. I'll be at the place where there is a jersey in the rafters that honors Ella Collier. I'm going to be at Danville.
Yeah.
Because she is one of 2 Indiana All-Stars in the history of the program at Danville.
Got to meet Collier's mother not too long ago there. We were there at Danville. She came up and said hi.
And her younger brother
yes.
plays on the boys varsity team. Steps called against Marian. But the 2 All-Stars in Danville history, Ella on the girls' side, Travis Carroll on the boys' side.
Yeah.
Went on to play for Matt Painter at Purdue. Westgate turns, and we talk about all the things that Marian is doing well. Taylor's also missing open looks.
They really are. And they're good looks, just not falling.
This is one of these, if you're Jody Martinez, I'm not sure you're watching this tape. I think you're just moving on to the postseason.
Well, I'm watching it if I'm McNally. She is playing as hard now as she was early on. I just have been so impressed. Look at her. Look at her calling for the ball. It's not a good pass, but she really, I like it when players call for the ball.
8th Marian turnover, and then steps against Dale going the other direction. Tabitha Perryman, the aforementioned birthday girl, will be checking back in for the Knights. And Taylor at 15-12, their record last year 15-13. Season before that, the Trojans went 19-7 and just missed the NAIA tournament. That was the year the tournament field was reduced from 64 to 48. They probably would have made it in a normal year. Before that, they were a 30-win team that, like Marian, won a game in the national tournament, and then it stopped because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Weiner will step into one from 16 and knock that one home, too.
You know, we got to give her some more props, too, Greg. This is as good as I've seen her play all year.
Dan, this was a 19-point game at halftime. It's 31.
Yeah, and a lot of it's because of number 1. She really has been really excellent at just being a quarterback with this team today.
16-4, although Dale just picked the pocket of McNally. McNally had one like that in the first half, so Dale got her back. That's about all that has gone wrong for Marian in this half. And a turnover committed by Taylor. That's their 12th. Perryman runs the floor all the way down, draws the foul, takes a tumble, and Tabitha Perryman will shoot 2.
I think for the most part, Marian has really throughout this game not rushed a lot, just made really good basketball decisions. That's so important going into tournament play. You cannot make errors. You've got to hit free throws. You've got to be on your A game in tournament play in this league.
So as Perryman goes the free throw line, let's thank our friends at First On Site, formerly More Restoration. They're here to help you power through whatever comes your way. They're a leading North American property restoration company that specializes in emergency response restoration and reconstruction following disasters of any kind. From fire and flood to catastrophic storms or biohazards, they have the team, technology, and resources to help you restore, rebuild, and rise. Go Knights. So Perryman makes them both. She is a perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line tonight. Marian's third quarter run now is 18-4. Ball the target, and that has to be quite the high entry pass to overthrow 6'4" in the post. Exactly what just happened.
You look at the roster of this Taylor Ball Club, only 3 seniors on it. So they've got just about everybody short of the 3 seniors coming back.
Of their kind of top 9 players, Maul and Dale, the only 2 seniors.
Right.
Kirby lines up a 3. That does not go. Kenna, 5 points a game, the freshman from Tri-West. Her absence felt by the Bruins this year. They had a kind of a rare down year to Tri-West this season. Ball catches, turns, and scores. That is her third field goal. She's got 7. Marian on their way to a 9th consecutive win against their longtime rivals. Last Taylor win in the series, November of 2019. Collier gets downhill and draws contact, and she'll get 2.
Good basketball decision. Little hesitation move, and then just went strong to the rim.
Hiroshima back in for Marian. We documented Collier's free throw prowess earlier. So much so that we feel she is impervious to the broadcaster jinx. You get north of 90, you miss one, that's on you, not on the guy talking.
That's exactly right.
Didn't even hit the rim.
16 for Collier. Averaging, what, just a little over 18?
That is correct. One of 3 Marian players in double figures. And again, trying to find Malt. 3 for Dale, does not go. And Kirby, the long rebound. That will slow things down. Nine-second difference, shot clock and game clock. On the basket, cut by Collier. Run to perfection by Marian.
And that's what you're really looking for now. To end this third period going into the fourth. Just continue working on that offense, getting it as fine-tuned as you possibly can.
Bossy a steal. Quick look at the clock. 1 got bumped, and that'll be a foul and free throws for Marian with 0.3 of a second left to go in the quarter.
She kicked on the afterburners there. She seen the clock, didn't know if she's going to have enough time to get there or not. Right here, she kicks it on, makes the decision. I'm going.
So Bossy to shoot 2. Former Brownsburg Bulldog. Her name is up in the rafters, or really on one of the diagonal walls at Brownsburg, because she too an Indiana All-Star, same year as Ella Collier. Unfortunately, they didn't play the All-Star games in 2020. She makes them both. And this, even for as good as Marian has been all year, is a stunning score. 65-28. They lead Taylor as we go to quarter number 4 here on ISC.
1. Just 1. Every minute, 1 woman in the United States is diagnosed with cancer. 1 mother, 1 daughter, 1 wife. Kay Yao saw the power of 1.
The biggest obstacles also provide the biggest opportunities.
1 adds up. 1 multiplies. Countless lives have been changed. 1 can change everything. You are the 1. The Kay Yao Cancer Fund. The power of 1.
Own a home? Here's a tip. Don't dump your garbage in the street. Neighbors get fussy about that sort of thing. Instead, count on Ray's Trash to haul it away. Ray's can supply 96-gallon waste and recycling bins that'll make you the envy of the cul-de-sac. And when you need a roll-off container for that big job, guess who's going to be there for you? That's right, Ray's. Your filth needs a place of its own. Ray's Trash will move it there. You know where to go.
Ray'sTrash.com.
Ray's Trash.
Let's thank our friends at Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. If saving money is important to you, visit Tom O'Brien, a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. Tom O'Brien is Indy's preferred Jeep dealer, 2 locations, the biggest Jeep inventory in Indiana. And to show our support, Tom O'Brien will donate $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys when you mention this ad. Go Knights and go to Tom O'Brien to see how our family works for you since 1933.
Well, let's see if Marian can finish this thing strong.
Ball the target, and Kirby going to be called for the foul. So Gretchen Mall will shoot 2. Kirby 1 of 1 from the line earlier. And you would think that kind of the starters and regular reserves would see time for the next 4 or 5 minutes.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
And then it is going to be empty the bench time going in both directions.
I think Coach Brooks would like to see a nice little surge here by this group and hold him in 2 or 3 minutes here.
A miss, but was going to lane violation. We'll do this again. Same result the second time around.
Well, Collier with her average at 18. Let's see if she can add a little bit to that before she sits down.
On the basket cut by Collier. Again, caught that in tough traffic, then is tied up. And let's point out that when she scored a couple of points ago, that 3 that she hit, that put her in sole possession of 4th place in the history of Marian University basketball.
Did it pretty quick, too, I might add.
And did so in less than 3 full seasons.
Yeah.
Ball finds Perryman, then Bossing. Couldn't finish.
Nice pass. A little bit of a crowd.
Oswald fires a 3, and that is good. Her second made 3. She's got 8 for the former Hamilton Heights Husky. That is the first made 3 for Taylor since the opening quarter of the game.
Yeah, they had a little string there where they hit 2 or 3, kind of got back in this, but you know, we've talked a lot about this score, but how can you not look at the defense? 10, 12, and only 6 points in that third period for Taylor. I'd say that's pretty solid defense.
Kenna Kirby gets the bucket. 7th different Marian player to score. You know Aaliyah Evans tonight for Marian. Out with a pregame illness.
Yeah, they're going to need her, so hopefully she can get back healthy.
Kirby read the passing lane perfectly, then wins the foot race to the ball. Off the window, left it short, but got fouled on the way up, and so Kenna Kirby will shoot 2. Marian's going to start to go a little bit deeper in their bench already. As Alexa McKinley will check in. The sophomore from Columbus North, and Kenna Gray, the sophomore from New Carlisle, Ohio. And Ella Collier might be done for the night with 8:34 left to play.
I would think so. No need to take any risk with her back on the court unless you absolutely need her.
Kirby makes the first of 2. She's an 81% free throw shooter.
Great opportunity, Greg, for this bench to get some big-time playing time.
That must be the Hendricks County form. She's got that the way that Collier does. They teach free throws properly on the west side of Indianapolis.
Yes, they do.
It was a 19-point game at halftime. Lyra gets whistled for the foul. Custer will check back in for Taylor. She's played in both halves. Custer, a sophomore from Lancaster, Ohio. Basket cut by Dale and gets the roll. Dale gets her second field goal of the game. She made the first field goal of the game for Taylor. That seemed like a long time ago at 69-34. The layup by Gray is good.
Really good move by Gray.
Gray, a player that doesn't see much in the way of playing time. And we have reached the territory. If this was an Indiana high school game, the clock would continue to run. We don't have that feature in college basketball. It's off the side of the backboard.
Don't see it too often. Every once in a while.
You don't see it in this league very often. That's rare.
Yeah.
Esther Sevilla will check back in. Sevilla played briefly in the first half.
I just really felt like the challenge for Marian was, would they come out and just be mentally focused? And I think they've answered that and then some.
I think that's a resounding yes. Ball is fouled. She'll shoot 2.
It's hard. You know, you talk about how many games these teams play, and you're looking at Marian right now with 28th game. A long season. You've got to be ready. Every single game on the road is even harder. It's a tough thing.
And when you have been Marian, you have won this regular season league now 6 years running. You are a lot of teams' Super Bowl every time you go into their building.
That's a great point, meaning also that you're going to get everybody's best shot all the time. You just are.
Main goal for Marian. Keep this clock a-moving. Kirby a miss. Rebound to Mull. Sevilla will be called for the foul. Mull will shoot a couple more free throws. She might be done for the day after she makes the second free throw because Taylor's got a couple of players set to check in. Casey Ott is in, a 6-foot freshman.
Greg, have you ever been to Taylor? And I can't remember what it's called. Some famous thing they do.
Ivanhoe's. You're talking about the place where you eat, or you're talking about the event
in
December?
The event.
Silent Night.
Silent Night, that's what it is. I have actually been there for Silent Night. It is something else.
You never want to be the opponent for Silent Night because that's going to be the homecoming opponent.
That's true.
So if you get scheduled for Silent Night, say no.
It's something else.
It's an amazing tradition.
It is. I've seen it a couple times actually.
The Mull makes the second of the 2 free throws. She will check out. Quinn Kelly will check back in for Taylor. Kylie McNally will check in. We've seen her sister Abby for a good chunk of the game. This has basically turned into a reserve game with 7 minutes left to go.
And it's not a bad thing for the reserves.
3, not that time. Because honestly, you're now to the part of the season where there's probably not many more opportunities for these young ladies to get much time.
Right.
It'll be the 5th foul against Marian, so 2 free throws at the other end.
And you know, Greg, to your point on that, especially for the young ones, you know, they at times don't see a lot of playing time, but they put in just as much time as everybody else. So you talk about being mentally ready when your name is called. It's a big thing in college. It really is.
This is Haley Harrison. She played at New Pal as a senior. Makes 1 of 2. (71-38). McKinley sets and misses. Custer steps through and she gets fouled. And Steve Brooks is not happy what he's seeing.
Getting a little helter-skelter for him.
From really what is kind of a mix of even his second and third string. So a timeout is going to be called. And I think it's going to be of the third. A full timeout is what is taken by Marian. Let's go ahead and step aside. 6:35 to play in this one. Marian will win it. Question is by how much. Right now it's 33 on ISC.
Meet Zach. Day and night, rain or shine, even just out for a spin, Zach gets around. But we know Zach. And at Indiana Members Credit Union, we know he's been saving up to trade up. IMCU is here to help Zach and you drive your dream. Now get financing as low as 4.99% APR on a new or used vehicle. Today, it's all about Zach. Tomorrow, it's all about you. Because at IMCU, it's you that matters.
Well, you have seen the obvious pink theme throughout the course of tonight's game. And T-shirts part of the Play for K movement, honoring Kay Yao, one of the greats in terms of women's college basketball coaching. The motto for Kay Yao, when life kicks you, let it kick you forward. We have little or no control over what happens to us in life, but we have 100% control over how we will respond. There you see Mitch Huppert, Sports Information Director, Assistant AD here at Marian University. KYao.com, where to go for more information and the Play for K movement. And yes, Mitchell, you are on television as we speak. So free throws coming up. And this one does not go. Second one is good. Custer gets on the board. 71-39. The runner off the side of the backboard. Sevilla, the rebound, misses. McNally is fouled.
Well, Greg, you look at that Indiana Wesleyan going to win the regular season conference, and that only loss they have came to overtime, and I believe to Marian.
Correct. Early in the year.
Yep.
Part of that window of conference games
just
early December.
That loss by 2, so kind of tells you that tournament could be anybody's.
Well, obviously Marian had hosted but lost the conference championship game in the last 2 years to Indiana Wesleyan. There'll be a little motivation to kind of turn that back around if you're Marian.
I would think so.
Again, they know they're going to play in the NAIA national tournament. Again, I think tonight kind of ends any doubt about them hosting a regional in the NAIA tournament.
Something they really wanted to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Avoid trips as long as you possibly can.
Absolutely, because some of those trips are long.
Kinley's shot does not go. And last year, the 4 teams that were here, Olivet Nazarene, Rio Grande, and Columbia College. Year before, it was 6 teams that were here. As Custer's 3 is good.
You know, Greg, other than that 81 that Marian gave up to Spring Arbor, the last 5 games, they've given up 41, 42, 54, 81, and 67. That's pretty impressive defense.
Well, that's simply how this team is structured. They allow just 55 points a game, and in this era of basketball, that is unheard of.
Right.
Sevilla step through, doesn't get the bucket to go, but Esther will shoot 2 free throws. When Kelly called for the foul. Taylor will go a little deeper to their bench as well.
In fact, that 81 they gave up at Spring Arbor was the most points they had given up all year long.
Joanne McKim will enter, freshman from Marian, as Sevilla gets the bucket to go. Sevilla becomes the 9th different player to score for Marian tonight, and makes them both as the native of Spain. Taylor's going to get another player in, Ainsley West, freshman that played for the Squires of Manchester High School. Pretty much this point, if you're in uniform, you have gotten into the game. Wing 3 does not go. Fight for the loose ball. Taylor somehow comes out of there with it. Under 5 to play in this one. And Marian led by 19 at halftime. It became 30, double dribble, by the end of the third quarter. Again, even given Marian's dominance in this league over the years, this is atypical even for what Marian does to teams in the league.
18 in the first, 23 in the second, 24 in the third. Offensively.
Sevilla going to work. Able to track it down. Jump ball will be called though, and they'll go back the other direction. It'll be a rare, and again, this is new this year. You know, once you get into the flow of conference play, you're playing every 4 days. Now that this is, the women have always been Wednesday, Saturday. Men were Tuesday, Saturday for a long time and have gone back to Wednesday, Saturday as well. But it's a 6-day gap between games before Marian plays again on Tuesday. McNally got a hand on that one. I would imagine there's a day off or two in that mix at this stage of the year for Marian. They'll be here for the Marian men taking on Taylor. Saturday afternoon at 3. Laser joins me for that one on the ISC Sports Network and ISC social media channels. Shot clock at 4. Eventually, Harrison will fire, and that did hit the rim. McKinley with the rebound. Nice drive and kick. Kirby lines it up and splashes it home. Kirby with 7.
That's what you want to see.
Coach Brooks still has his game face on the sideline.
I don't think he ever takes it off.
I have seen the man smile. He happened to be at a game that we were covering on ISC back in December. A pretty impressive group of talent on the floor. It was Ben Davis and Zionsville. Steve was all smiles that night. Ball tipped out of bounds. It'll be Taylor basketball.
Well, that's why he has been a very successful coach.
Yes.
He has a standard, and that's his expectations. You play to that standard. I don't care if you're the first, second, or third group.
The team met the standard tonight.
Yes, they did.
The turnover by Taylor. McKinley's runner does not go. Or McGalley, excuse me. That bucket is good for Kelly.
It's hard to win. It's hard to win conference tournament. It's hard to win. He's certainly won at the highest level. He has a national championship to his resume.
Many years Indiana Weston for coming to Marian, as that bucket is good for McKinley. McKinley gets her first bucket. Steve was at St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois before coming here. In fact, ironically, they played their NAIA regional 2 years ago before he came to Marian. They were here.
Right.
That was the year that it was 6 teams that came here, and then 2 would go on to Sioux City. Marian was of that group.
Coach Brooks may not say it, but I think inside he's pretty pleased with what he's seen out here today. I don't know how he could be.
Right, no. There is nothing you pick apart that went wrong tonight.
You just go, wow. You know, as a coach, you feel that too. Listen, man, you know, you do everything you can to mentally have them focused, ready to play. Just hope they have been listening. And you always want momentum. Momentum is such a big thing in this tournament. You want to be hot, get hot, stay hot.
Coach Brooks like what he's seen on the defensive side from his team. McNally off the window, missed that one, but gets another look, and now she'll have a chance for some free throw. Missed a couple earlier. And got that to go. 11 different Marian players have scored tonight. I think 11, looks like 12 have played this evening.
Last time Marian had 80 on the scoreboard was about 5 or 6 games ago at Goshen. So this is a welcome side to have some points on the board tonight.
Yeah, whatever questions you had if you're Coach Brooks, you kind of answered tonight. Your team's going to be just fine. Kirby weaving through traffic. Gray wants a ball screen and gets it. Sevilla turns and scores. Only Monterosoba did not score tonight for Marian. Kim's three is good. Kim adds her name to the scoring column. One more offensive set, all that's going to be required here for the Knights. Marian team that shot 63% from the floor in the first half, and frankly, never cooled off in the second half as Gray got that one to go. You hope to have a night or two like this every year.
Yeah.
Marian's having that night in their regular season home finale. Kim got fouled. It'll be free throws coming up for her. And frankly, after that, Marian can simply walk the ball in the front court, call it a night. And we will not dilly-dally long at the end of this one as well, given the fact that this one has been decided for some time.
Early.
Yeah.
As a coach, you love early.
I think this one was called with about 15% of precincts reporting.
I love our basket cams. That's pretty cool.
And one of those on each camera.
Yes, sir.
Jordan Shue and Rich Huppert's handiwork.
Great view.
Killing just a quick glance at the clock and see if she'll maybe take one more look or just simply back it out, and that's enough for one night. And Gray is told to park it on her hip. That's it and that's all. 85-48, Marian dominant. Ella Collier becomes the fourth leading scorer in Marian history with 18. It was Wayner and McNally in the first half that were the stories. They finished with 16 and 13 respectively. Jan, your final thoughts on this one?
Be focused, come out and execute it. You said it many times. I think they accomplished really what they want to do tonight.
The next time we'll see the Marian University women's team will be next Tuesday at the Crossroads League quarterfinals. Jan Boge will be here for that one. Make sure you join us then at 7 o'clock. I'll be back for the men's regular season finale against Taylor. Again, that one also Saturday at 3. We'll have it for you right here on the ISC Sports Network. For Jan Boge and our entire ISC Sports Network crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from Marian. It was all Knights this evening. They win by 37 on ISC.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.